Grand opening, grand closing.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend, these YouTube streets, PlayStation77, back with another video. So it's like day 3, day 4, whatever, of these fanboys still complaining over PlayStation strategy going forward on how they're going to continue their relationships with PC and how PlayStation console is their priority and strategy. In terms of how they're going forward for the rest of the gen. So we got a Twitter account, Pirate Software, saying, isolation and forced permanent exclusivity to any platform ends in stagnation. Watching Sony lose players globally through this practice is insane. We're watching the finding out portion in real time. So once again, it's just people who are just butthurt at just, Sony's announcement, and they're just simply not making sense because they're emotional. And they're just freaking out over this. Let's start this in a way it could explain, right? Again, this past week, Sony announced that their strategy going forward, right? And the main crux is they are not going date and date with PC. Also, another thing that they're specifically talking about is, for context, Helldivers 2 is not purchasable in 173 regions despite not having PSN as a requirement. Ghost of Tsushima is a single-player game that only requires PSN for multiplayer. It is also not purchasable in 172 regions right now. So his problem is that PlayStation is forcing a PSN login requirement, which then restricts where the game can be sold, which is over 170 countries. So now all these PC gamers are trying to virtual signal, making they sound like they're the good guy. If Sony or any company decides not to sell certain things in certain countries, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. Is the game available to you? If the answer is yes, then you make a choice. You buy it or you don't. But please don't come in here or on Twitter, on social media like you're some hero. Because I guarantee you don't care that there are countries that cannot directly buy PlayStation 5s. Many countries, many countries around the world, they have to import their PlayStations. They always have. Because there's a lot of countries where natively PlayStation consoles are not sold or Switch devices are not sold. So they have to import it, which means those PlayStation consoles, when they do import it into their countries, guess what's also not accessible to them? PSN. Did you care that for years, going back to at least the PlayStation 3, that's how things were? No, you never brought that up before. So why are you crying now? The only legit argument, right, from a consumer standpoint, was when Helldivers was sold to these 170 countries and they were able to buy it and play it. And then when Sony enacted the required PSN login, now these people who bought a game and paid for it already no longer has access to it because their countries doesn't have PSN. That's messed up. Because you got consumers to pay money and now they can't use their product. That is absolutely wrong. But this is not wrong. Sony saying, hey, you are required, and for example, God of War is going to require a PSN login. So guess what? Sony knows these 170 countries do not have a PSN login, so they're not selling the game there. They're not going to sell a game that they know these countries can't access to. That's the right thing to do. Now, you can say from a business perspective, oh, that's stupid, yada, yada. Sure, whatever. But don't come up with this bullshit about stagnation because of exclusives. If anything, exclusives built this industry. Okay, the battle of exclusives. In fact, a lot of you PC gamers, you rag on PS5 all the time, saying this is the worst PlayStation generation ever. Please bring back the PlayStation 2. Most reviews love the PlayStation 2. A time where it was mostly exclusives, to include third party. Because during those days, right, consoles was battling over other consoles and everybody kind of picked their lane and they try to make the best games so you could buy their game over that game. And that's what exclusives did. Exclusive created a competitive environment of whose games was better or whose, product identity was better than the other. One of the most popular and well-known console wars, competitive markets, was Sega Genesis and Super NES, to which some people say that was the golden era of gaming. Because it was nothing but straight competition from everybody. Everybody was creating unique content across the board to beat the other person. And it wasn't just Super Nintendo and Genesis. You had TurboGrafx-16. They tried to pitch in Jaguar, 3DO, SNK, CDI, all these consoles, all trying to create exclusives, all of them trying to say our games are better than others, all were unique identities across the board, and a lot of people look back then as that was the golden era of gaming because everybody was getting unique, great games across the board. But don't you notice how when more things become multi-plat and everything's on everything, now everybody's complaining, man, there's no unique, there's no identity, everything seems the same. Well, yeah, because there's no reason to compete. They just put games everywhere. They're not worried about saying my game is better than your game. If anything, the entire industry is very cautious of each other and they try their best not to compete. When Grand Theft 6 Autos comes out, do you think anyone will have the nerve to even try to say, nah, we're going to go toe to toe with Grand Theft Auto 6, buy our game? Who's going to do that? No one. The whole entire industry is going to be like, you know what? We're going to step back and they're going to let Grand Theft Auto 6 just take the whole month to itself, meaning no choices for you. Unless the game's already been released, you ain't getting anything else new. Grand Theft Auto 6 is the only option. There you go. Because the industry is going to stay far away from that game as possible. Does that sound like a competitive market? Does that sound advantageous to you to where if you want a new game that month, the only choice you really have is Grand Theft Auto 6? What if you don't like Grand Theft Auto 6? Well, guess what? You get nothing. Go buy a game that's already been out for 2, 3, 4 months. And chances are, if you were interested in that game, you would already bought it. You see how the market is? But this doesn't force, exclusivity on the platform doesn't force that, especially with PlayStation. Because the thing is, PlayStation is just one publisher with multiple studios versus thousands of developers that are out there. You got thousands. It's impossible for PlayStation by themselves, Nintendo by themselves, or even Microsoft. With absorbing Activision and Bethesda, it's impossible for any of the three to have that impact at any level. There's way too many multi-plat developers out there, okay? You're talking about one brand, right? Now, that one brand, PlayStation, and technically you can say two, because Nintendo, they actually have successful product called their consoles and their Switch device, their mobile device. It's successful. So I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, they actually care about their device and want their device, their system, their method of business to be successful. Sorry if you feel cheated. See, the main problem here is PC gamers, right? They want PlayStation, right, to do what Xbox did, which is give them carte blanche, the royal treatment, the red carpet treatment, right? Give them the same exact treatment on PC as they're giving the Xbox. But here's the thing you guys failed to realize. The reason why you got such great treatment from Xbox isn't because, oh, the PC's the master race or the PC's the best thing ever. No, it's because their console failed. So they didn't have a choice. And I think deep down, you guys realize that PC is more of an opportunity rather than the main, you're the side chick, rather than the main chick. And I think you guys realize that, right? Now, it didn't feel that way, with Xbox, because Xbox treated you like the main chick because their main chick actually failed, right? So what Microsoft technically did, they got a divorce and they went with you, and that made you feel special. But now you're looking at PlayStation and you're like, why is PlayStation still treating me like the side chick? You guys thought you won the whole PSN login war with Helldivers, right? And you guys see PC Master Race, we don't get fucked. No. The only reason why you won that battle is because Sony fucked up. They fucked up by selling games to countries they were not supposed to sell to. So they didn't have a choice but to remove the PlayStation, the PSN login requirement, because they screwed over too many people. You have people in 173 countries. Is that what the number is? You said 173 regions. So 173 regions bought a game that they lost access to. They literally paid for the game, and Sony says, oh, sorry, you can't play no more. That's not right. So that's why they had to turn it back. That was their only solution. But every future game going forward, they're not screwing people over because they're not allowing people to buy it in the first place. Unless you try to pirate or market it, that's on you. Or you try to do some sneaky way of trying to get access to the game, that's on you. You chose that. But Sony's not screwing over gamers, selling them a game that they can't support, okay? So you guys thought you won the whole PSN login fight. No, you didn't. Sony's going to say you will log in if you want this game, or just don't buy the game. Now, the reason why they can do that to you guys, because that's what's really pissing you guys off. The fact that Sony says, suck it the fuck up, you're going to log in if you want to play this game, or you just don't play it. And if you live in a country where you can't log in, oh well, you won't have access to the game. And that's pissing you guys off. And I'm going to tell you why it's pissing pissing you off. You're just, for the first time, you're sitting there defenseless. You're like, I don't understand. Like, how can they do this? They're so stupid. Or you're going to fuck around and find out you're going to lose so much money. They can't lose money on an audience they never had. So why is Sony doing this? Why is PlayStation doing this? You guys are all confused. It's because, I'm going to say this again, they have a successful product that is the most successful they ever did. The PlayStation 5 is the most successful PlayStation they've ever created, and we're only 4 years into the gen. So they're not relying on PC on the survival thing. That's the first mistake you PC gamers have. You think Sony's doing this to survive. What part of the most successful console they ever created do you not understand? I need help with this. Tell me, what part of your cerebral cortex is not computing? It's only 4 years into the gen, and they already surpassed metrics for the PlayStation 4's entire gen. The entire PlayStation 2 gen. The entire PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 3 gen. They beat it all. And they're only halfway. Right now, PlayStation is in the bonus round. This is all bonus now. Because they already met the metric of success. Now they're just overdoing it now. It's like playing a game of basketball, right? You're in the fourth quarter, 10 seconds left to the game. You're already beating the people by 45. And there's 10 seconds left. And you're still trying to shoot a three. That usually causes fights because now you're being disrespectful. That's Sony right now. Sony's just being disrespectful. You know, that's it. They're trying to score more points. They're trying to pad their stats. This is all stat padding at this point now. It's all stat padding. That's all this is. They already beat out an entire generation for a PlayStation 4, which was their most successful generation ever, right? Until now. And the generation's not even over. So clearly, PlayStation's main business is the main focus. PC is opportunity to make more money. That's all that platform is. You're not the main focal point. Now, how do you become the main focal point then? Then you have to be like Xbox and have a failed product, which is the Xbox console. Because the Xbox console failed. It failed every metric. It fell so bad, it's not even on pace with the Xbox 360. That's how bad the Xbox is failing. It's at to the point where now, at this point in time, Xbox 360 had more sales. It's absolutely a failed product. So now, if you're a company with a console and it's completely failed, you have to look somewhere else. Okay? And the first thought, because of Windows and whatever, let's look at PC. That's obviously the first thought. And they did that. They went to PC. They put games day one on PC. They put Game Pass on DC. They even made exclusives for PC. They gave you guys more exclusives on PC than their own console. They gave you the red carpet treatment across the board on everything. Even games you can't even get on Xbox. They even gave you guys timed exclusives. What was it? Gears Tactics? That came out on PC first, then their own console. You know, Flight Simulator, that came out on PC first, then their own console. So they gave PC exclusives. They gave their PC timed exclusives. They even gave PC exclusives on Game Pass. Death Stranding can only be played on PC Game Pass. So they actually did a better job on PC than they do on their own console. They rolled out the red carpet and gave you a fellatio. They literally spread their butt cheeks for you guys. And you still failed them. Because if it was a successful plan, if PC was all that in a bag of chips, why did they finally had to bend the knee to PlayStation? Do you know how embarrassing it is, you know, to take Rare, who never made a PlayStation game ever, not even under Nintendo. They never touched PlayStation ever. And to finally bend the knee and tell Rare, you got to make a game for PlayStation. And then to give exclusive content to PlayStation on top of that. You know how embarrassing that is? Do you know that's raising the white flag? And PC couldn't stop that. You understand? While on the flip side, you got two true remaining providers, and they are both successful in what they do. And the beauty about the relationship between PlayStation and Nintendo is they don't really compete with each other, because Nintendo's dominating in their own lane, in their own world, and they are extremely successful at it. Their little mobile platform and the way they design their Switch and all that stuff, and how their original Switch is, absolutely brilliant for them, absolutely working, and is attracting a huge customer fan base that loves that style. While on the flip side, PlayStation dominated the AAA console gaming space. Completely dominated, okay? And now PlayStation is going to continue to develop that. They have a great strategy. So guess what? If you're a AAA console gamer, you're going to want to be on PlayStation. If you like the stuff that Nintendo does, then go get a Switch. And then you have PC. PC is really no man's land, right? It is what it is. You get what you get. But hey, you have other things that PC can do that console can do. Primarily the hardware. That's really the main crux of PC. You can choose the configuration for your hardware. It's a bit more freedom because of the operating system. You can tinker, twitch, mod, all this other shit. You can do all this random shit, and that's it. And to me, that's the perfect, really right now, that's actually the perfect environment that will help gaming grow. Let PlayStation be the AAA console provider doing PlayStation things. Sorry, Xbox, you're not good enough. There's no reason for you to waste anybody's time. Console gaming, PlayStation. Mobile gaming, Nintendo. PC gaming configuration, hardware management, PC. Everybody gets what you want. You pick the lane that you want. You pick what you want you pick the best out of the choices, and you get to it. And everybody's happy. Problem is, PC gamers feel entitled. Simply because you spent a little bit more money on your PC, or you put it together, so now you figured out how to put a Lego set together. Now you guys are entitled or whatever. Sorry, cut the entitlement. Get what you get on PC. What you really wanted was hardware performance and freedom to do stuff. You got that. That's it. If PlayStation decides to put their games whenever they put it, oh well. If they tell you, hey, you got to log in for free, log in. If you don't want to log in, then don't play the game. Play other games. You'll be all right, But to actually be upset at Sony's strategy to focus on a product that's the most successful product they ever built is absolutely asinine. Absolutely ridiculous. Right now, this thing's forming to, I think, is the perfect equilibrium in gaming. You got your PC gaming, do what you got to do. Nintendo, they're going to do what they got to do. PlayStation, they do. It's the perfect trinity, right? PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, they're in their lane. They got the market covered. Sorry. Xbox couldn't compete. Xbox did not do a good job. And to be honest, Microsoft does not have the leadership to actually make a quality console that competes in the console market. They're wasting everybody's time. And they know that, right? This is just the small steps into Microsoft becoming full third party. They're just taking it bit by bit by bit by bit. But they're going to bow out of the console market because this is really not for them. They're not really getting anything out of it. The perfect trinity is set. PlayStation, AAA console gaming, PC, hardware, whatever gaming. Nintendo, they got their mobile, first party Nintendo, all that stuff. Everybody got their own lane, and I think each lane will be successful. But PlayStation trying to get exclusives for their own platform doesn't hurt PC. Sure, it might upset PC gamers, because you want to play that game from that PlayStation has, right? But that's no different when Nintendo gets their exclusives. You probably want to play those exclusives on PC because they'll run better, they'll look better, whatever. But guess what? Each one is going to cater to their own platform. Each one does need to cater to their own audience, especially Nintendo and PlayStation. They absolutely need to cater to their core audience because their core audience is what's providing the majority of money to them. PC gamers are not providing the majority of money to PlayStation. Don't even embarrass yourself. You only have a few games, right? In fact, the only one that actually sold a breakout hit, like more than 6, 7, 8, 10 million, whatever, like 7, 8 million is Helldivers, right? You ain't sell 6, 7 million copies of Spider-Man or Miles Morales or Horizon and stuff like that, or God of War. None of those games sold the high. I think the highest, Helldivers obviously so great, but all the other games, I think the next highest is like 2 million, which was Horizon. I think God of War sold like 1.5 million. So you're not doing these super breakout hits. Like, stop it, right? And then everybody's like, well, if you do day and date, you will get more sales. Well, you guys admitted that you'll wait. So I think the people who are buying the games 2 years later will be the same people they want at launch. But I think Sony, who knows, whatever. I could be talking about stuff, but I ain't going to bring those points up. Main thing is, PlayStation has a great strategy because the console is successful. The problem is you guys don't want to see it. You guys want to be fake, dumb, and cry and be emotional on social media instead of obviously looking at factual information. Then you take that factual information and then you come up with a good hypothesis and be like, oh, okay, this is PlayStation's most successful console ever. Yeah, it's clear they want to focus on that and continue that trend because it's clearly making money for them. While Xbox, yeah, that console's a failure. It's absolutely clear why they're all about PC, because this console ain't cutting it. Easy, simple. Is the point difficult to understand? I don't know how much more simpler this point can be made. Anyway, to my friends, my fellow gamers, your only friend YouTube Streets, PlayStation77. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hey, I'll check you guys out Tuesday, 60 Frames No Lag podcast, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Check out the crew. We're going to have a lot to talk about. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. You guys take care. Peace.
Grand opening, grand closing.